Okay, a quorum being present, we'll begin the meeting. The first bill for consideration today is House Bill 438, which is Representative Reese's bill. Do we have a motion to bring that bill up for consideration? Motion made by Representative Rothman, seconded by Representative Mustio. Representative Reese, would you like to give a brief description of your legislation?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And good morning, everyone. House Bill 438 is a building block. It builds off of Act 39 of 2016. If you're familiar with Act 39 of 2016, it allows for a wine-to-go permit for our license holders. House Bill 438 would simply include spirits in that language. So it's something that we're used to. It's something that I think most folks in the Commonwealth are looking forward to. It creates that opportunity for the one-stop shop scenario, and I'm asking for support from the committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Representative Reese. We will open it up for questions, comments from any of the committee members. Chairman Costa, excuse me.
Thank you, Chairman. 8 months ago, Act 39 was implemented, not even 8 months ago. And it's a major change that we've had to our system in almost 100 years. And now all of a sudden we want to change it again. I think this is way premature. I think most people would agree that wine is acceptable. A lot of people drink wine because the alcohol content is not that high. Liquor, we're talking about a different thing. Spirits, we're talking about a different issue. I'm opposed to this bill, and I would hope that all of our members will oppose this also.
Thank you, Chairman Costa. Any other questions, concerns?
Chairman?
Yes. Representative Petrie.
Yes, I'm certainly no criticism on the maker, but I just ran some numbers based upon the report of the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board for fiscal year 15-16, and what it shows is off-premises retail sales for liquor is about $964,950,143. Now, I did some quick math, and in a typical free market scenario, you would expect about a 25% markup, which would result in annual income off of that of about $240 million. And if you took EBITDA, you'd probably be at about $1.9 billion as the value, which divided by the 12,000 licensees makes each license worth about $160,000. Now, I think you have to discount that value because you'd be competing against the state store. The bill does not allow you to sell at a loss leader. So you're going to have a markup. There's going to be an increase under this bill in the cost of the product to the consumer. So, some will continue to go to the state store. Some will buy, especially if they have specialized items at the restaurants. But I think the initial fee of $2,000 is a giveaway of an asset that the Commonwealth owns. And for that reason, I can't support the bill today. If the number changed and we had a plan for the entire system that made sure the taxpayer got the value of the system, if this is the choice that the members want to make and the governor wants to make, then I could reevaluate my position. But I think these licenses are worth much more, in the neighborhood of 80-some thousand, even if you discount to 50%. Whether a licensee would ever pay that amount, I wouldn't if I was a restaurateur, but that's probably more the market value of these licenses, in my humble opinion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Representative Donatucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will be a no vote on this. In Philadelphia, and I'm sure in other parts of the state, we have a problem called stop and goes. We've nicknamed it that. People are buying liquor to go. There's not a lot of enforcement. There seems to be a problem with that. People are drinking shots in these establishments. They're outside drunk. And I think adding 4 bottles of spirits to the seal in these corner stores especially will make a bigger problem. And I do have a question. Is there enforcement in these bills? Is there money going to additional enforcement?
No, there's no additional enforcement measures, either financial or any language in the legislation that would increase the complement.
Okay, thank you. So I will be a no vote, and I encourage no votes on this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Boyle.
Thank you, Representative Harris. I think we have to be pretty clear as to what is going on here. This is stealth privatization of the state liquor system. Throughout my tenure up here in the state legislature, I was elected in 2011. There was a concerted effort every year, I think every couple of months, to try to privatize our state liquor system. It was unsuccessful because it was probably too ambitious. What the majority party has been doing is sort of piecemealing privatization over the last year or so. And this is just the latest step in unraveling a hugely profitable liquor system for the taxpayers of Pennsylvania. Including taxes, we generate over $600 million into the general fund from our liquor system here in the state of Pennsylvania. We have a structural deficit of $2 billion to $3 billion. I haven't seen any proposal that's been offered to offset what we're eventually going to lose as we slowly privatize the liquor system. Let's be very clear. That's where we're going. I represent the city of Philadelphia. Representative Donatucci spoke about the stop and goes in our city. It's a proven fact. The University of Drexel University came out with a study which actually showed there was increased violence in the immediate vicinity of liquor stores in the city of Philadelphia. So the facts are there. Why we would want to start selling shots and hard liquor in these stop and goes in the city of Philadelphia is completely irrational to me. So for those reasons, I will definitely be a no vote.
Thank you, Representative Boyle. And I took over the chairmanship about 6 months ago, and really the issue of stop and goes was something I was not that familiar with. And since then, I've heard that from a lot of the Philadelphia members. We are committed to doing what we can to try to address that problem. I know the LCB recently had a very informative hearing down in Philadelphia, and I believe every member of the Philadelphia delegation was there. So you absolutely have my commitment. If there's something we can do to make that issue better and improve your communities, we will certainly try to do everything we can. Representative Mustio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was wondering if I could ask the maker some questions, if he'd.
Sure.
Okay. Could you talk about the reason for the $2,000 permit fee and how that relates to fees for wine?
Sure. So we used the $2,000 number because that's what we used in Act 39. It was based off, this language is extremely similar to Act 39, the legislation that allowed for the wine to go permit. We're simply now allowing for spirits, so it's based off that legislation.
Will taxes still be paid?
Yes.
Is there anything in this bill that eliminates, out of the concern for stop and goes in Philadelphia, eliminates state stores in Philadelphia?
No.
There was a previous speaker said there was a concern about violence around communities around state stores in Philly. Is there any language in this bill that will eliminate state stores? Because that is a concern in Philadelphia.
No, there is no language in this bill that would eliminate state stores. As a matter of fact, the product has to be bought from the state board.
So if I'm understanding this, your thought process is we're basically doing for spirits what was done for wine.
Correct. And again, all the enforcement, all of the regulations that apply to an R license will still apply to an R license. I do certainly appreciate and understand there's a real issue with the stop and goes in Philadelphia. And as the chairman said, it's something that needs to be worked on. That said, I don't think this bill makes it any better or any worse. It just doesn't address that issue.
Thank you.
Representative Cephas.
Thank you, Chairman. So as a new member to the legislature and to this committee, I did not have the opportunity to be part of the Act 39 conversation that took place in 2016. And, I just have a series of questions around if we've really had an opportunity to assess the impact of Act 13, not just to the overall system, but to wine and spirit stores, but also to the neighborhoods that have been impacted by the expansion under that act. And what concerns me is that we're not having a dialogue with stakeholders, with other agencies. I mean, to my colleagues' comments regarding expanding enforcement around the issue, we're not having that conversation as we're going down this line of expansion, and that deeply concerns me. I, too, am a rep from Philadelphia, and I'm actually having a public meeting coming up this Thursday to talk about the impact of the expansion of the R licenses and stop and goes, but also bars as well. So because of all of those factors, I will be a no vote and just would really encourage us to have a bit more of a dialogue before we expand this type of large system and, counties that have, an impact with the expansion of the spirits. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. Seeing no other questions or comments, we'll go ahead and proceed to a roll call vote.
Harris.
Yes.
Camp, I have a proxy yes. Lawrence. Yes. Marshall.
Yes.
Micarelli, I have a proxy yes. Mustio.
Yes.
Petrie.
No?
Reese.
Yes.
Rothman.
Yes.
Simmons.
Yes.
Sonny, I have a proxy yes. Stats.
Yes.
Tobash.
Yes.
Topper.
Yes.
Wheeland.
Yes.
Costa.
No.
Boyle.
No.
Burns.
No.
Cephas.
No.
Donatucci. No. Flynn.
No.
Quartz.
No.
Kulik. No. McClinton. No. Ravenstahl.
No.
Schreier.
No.
Okay, if my tally is correct, that would be 14 yes votes and 12 no votes. So House Bill 438 is reported out of the committee.